In this video, we are going to be driving home from my workplace back to where I live here in Papua New Guinea. A lot of people have wanted to see what does it look like driving in Papua New Guinea. So we're going to go over some cultural things here driving in Papua New Guinea. We're going to drive through the town of Gooka on my way home and show you some sights you might not have ever seen before. So let's get going. Takes about 15 or so minutes. Not sure if you guys can see this off to my right or not, but we are building a new hangar. And we have just cleared out the land this past week. Got the gravel in just this week. And hopefully in the next couple of months, hopefully not too long, hopefully in the next couple of months, building will begin. So this is the town of Gooka, Papua New Guinea, located in the Eastern Highlands province. I have no idea how many people live here. But if you were to equate it to maybe like the size of a town in America or so, I would say it'd probably be around 10,000 people. I'm guessing there's actually more people that live here than 10,000, but maybe like the size, you know, it only takes less than 10 minutes to drive through. It's really kind of small. Anyway, right here on my left is our Gooka terminal. And it's actually shaped like a bird. You wouldn't really notice it at just like initial looking at it, but like the roof is actually like this and kind of splays out kind of like wings would. That end down there is like a beak. This end down here, it kind of like swoops and stuff is like a tail. Can't really show you as I'm driving, but we've got a Digis Cell store right off here to my right-hand side. That is actually like our phone service that we use here. The primary phone carrier here in Papua New Guinea is Digis Cell. I think there's Telecom and maybe another one that might be trying or something, I don't know. But it's pretty crazy where they have their cell phone towers located. Some of them at the very tops of mountains over here at 11,000 feet and just randomly out in the bush. So it's pretty crazy where you see them. So one thing I think that you'll notice right off the bat is how many people are walking around. That was my first impression when I got here 10 years ago. It was like, man, what are all these people doing every single day? I have no idea. I really don't. I mean, obviously coming to town, most people don't own a vehicle. They don't ride mopeds like they do in other parts of countries like Indonesia, places like that. Off here to my right, we've got the post office and our Brian Bell right here off to the left. Brian Bell is kind of like Sears a little bit, where it's a department store. They sell kind of a little of everything. They sell some clothes, they sell dishes, they sell couches, pretty much kind of a little of everything. We got a clock right here. They just put this up this past year. It usually does not tell the correct time because when the power in Gooka goes out, I think the power goes out for it too. So the time is off pretty often, but it's a pretty cool looking clock though. Well, I'm going to drive on down near the main market, so you can kind of see that's usually where most of the people are hanging out here in this town. It's a very busy area. So this vehicle right here in front of me is called a coaster bus, or a PNG, a public motor vehicle. But like I said, this is a very busy area. We'll take a left here. They do a lot of like rugby games and things like that over here in the field off to my right. And this green roofed building right here is the market where they sell vegetables and a few other things, but mainly just vegetables for people to get. It's actually not quite as busy as I was kind of anticipating it to be, so that's nice. We have the Toyota dealership here. Pretty much the main vehicles are Land Cruisers. The one like you see in front of me is a truck version. And then all these coasters are Toyotas. The Land Cruiser you see in front of me, that's a truck version. I mean, they really haven't changed the style of those things in ages. I don't even know when the last time they actually gave like a full-on redo. They've redone the front end of it and given a new style headlights every few years, thinking that it's a new version. Here's like an SUV version, this white one. but still looks the same, like it's from the 1980s. See a lot of semis like this with containers on the back of it. Everything here is shipped up from Leh or something like that to bring up supplies for all the stores. So we have a lot of semis with containers. Down this street, off to my right, is where the hospital is. Last time I used that was when I was a kid. I got stitches in my chin. Cost about 50 Toya, I think, which was around 25 cents at the time. So, pretty cheap, but I don't think they always have everything that they need. Right off here to my left is the airport. So basically what we did is we did a big, huge loop, and now we're on the other side of the airport. This is just called West Gooka here. There's another string of stores here. I would say most of like the supermarkets and everything they carry, most of them carry the exact same stuff. There's a few stores like this one up here, this gray one with the kind of aqua colored roof. That one is a fairly newish one, maybe like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years old. Hotspot, and it carries quite a few more Western types of foods and stuff. And there's another new hardware store on the other side of it that's going up, and hopefully in the next year or so that will be up and going. But they are coming right along with it. Building material and furniture. Okay, well maybe it is. It's maybe only going to be. We do have quite a few other places like this hardware house. And again, this is the other side of the airport. You can see the windsock right there in front of me. We do have a couple of gas stations. That's one crazy thing about Gooka, is there's always gas stations like being built and then they go out after a little bit. I don't know why they come about, but here looks like a police checkpoint. Never seen one over here, but a lot of times they'll be either looking for somebody specific or they'll be like looking to make sure your papers are all good. Afternoon. They know our vehicles just because, I mean, we only live down the street. So pretty rarely do they actually ask us for any papers, driver's license, anything like that. All these beach umbrellas you see right here in front of me, this is a small little market. We have the main town market. This is just, I don't know what they would call it, the airport market or something like that. Again, they sell a lot of like cow. That's what you see a lot down there, which is just sweet potatoes, all those brown things all over the ground. They sell firewood here and just a couple other different types of veggies and greens. This little Islands gas station right here on the left. They spent like, I don't know, 1.5 years building it, and it was open for like a month before it went out of business, and then eventually changed hands. And then we have another Puma gas station coming up here. And I think once the owner passed away a few years ago, it shut down, never to reopen. And then this building right here with the blue on top, the owner had built that and had a bunch of stores, and it was supposed to be kind of like a hotel up top. That actually never even opened. So there's a bunch of buildings here that like they spend a lot of money and time building, and then for some reason, I don't know why, it just never opens. But you can see all these like kind of little tiny shops all through here. This is where a lot of truckers and things will stop, but it's basically like fast food area right here. And their fast food consists of fried sweet potatoes, fried lamb flaps, French fries, fried sausages, kind of little scone kind of things. Pretty much almost everything is fried though. I would say, yeah, 90% of everything is fried. And then you see a bunch of little tiny stores that don't necessarily sell Kai food. It's just like, you know, kind of fast foody stuff. They will sell, like this one over here on the right, they'll sell like crackers and rice and ramen noodles and things like that. And you'll probably notice, I'll point it out to you, but there's a bunch of these little green and yellow shacks along the way that say SP on them. That's just like the brand of beer, kind of like a Budweiser of America. And there's just tons of these little shacks all over the place. Because they don't really have like a liquor store per se. It's just, here's one right here on the left. Bunches of these little tiny beer shacks. It is 3:30 now. There might be kids walking home from school here just up in a little bit. I don't know. That's one thing you really have to keep an eye out for. Kids though, I mean, kids anywhere in the world are maybe not quite as observant as adults are when it comes to walking on the road. And it's unfortunate though that they have to walk on such a dangerous road so close without sidewalks and things like that. You'll always see fires burning, just random fires. There's one over there, there was one back there. Especially this time of year, it's dry season. So they burn off a lot of the grass during rainy season. Some of these grasses you can see off to the side, I mean, they're already 6 feet tall. Some of the ones out there in the hills though, I mean, I've seen it all the way up at least 12 feet tall of grass. So that's where all of their trails are to go out to their gardens for their food and stuff. So they do a ton of burning this time of year. That's why it's so hazy as you look ahead towards those mountains. It's not just haze or humidity, it's actually smoke in the air. There's been times flying that it's gone all the way down to 1 mile visibility. I literally could only look straight down and that's all I could see. Then we have a Catholic school right here. That's what this really nice fence is. I believe that's a Catholic school over there. And we have a school for the blind coming up here on my right. Although, I don't think I've really ever seen any kids ever outside there, ever. These two sidewalks they just put in this year. I don't know why they put them on both sides. I don't know why they put them right here. I have no explanation of why that was and why they didn't continue them on down the street where it was actually a little bit more dangerous for the kids to actually walk. But they have some sidewalks here, which is nice. There's another gas station they put in since I've been here that has more or less come and gone. It does have one pump there. I've tried to stop there with my motorcycle. They don't have just regular fuel. They only have diesel. I would say most of the gas stations here in New Guinea only have diesel. And then on your way down to Leh, which is probably on average maybe a 5-hour trip or so by car, they do have these little tiny shacks along the side of the highway that do sell like gallon jugs or a couple liter jugs of fuel at a pretty expensive price. I have nearly run out of fuel once before, and yeah, I think the price, maybe it was the white man price, I don't know, but it was probably 3 or 4 times the regular cost of fuel. But I was desperate. This is called Kamaliki Hill. All the semis seem to break down on this hill all the time. It is notoriously blocked with different vehicles and stuff. So one thing I'll point out, you can keep a lookout, is vehicles like the smaller vans, the PNGs, kind of like the one I'm driving now. They'll have different sayings painted on the front bumper. Let's see what this one here has. So you can see right on his hood, La Kiss. This one doesn't have anything per se, but a lot of them will have these little sayings, and it will identify maybe where they're from or some talk place word that means something to them. And talk place just means like their heart language, because there's actually over 800 different languages here in Papua New Guinea. So just in the time that I've been driving from Gooka to now, we've already gone through 2 different language groups, and we're about ready to go into another language group and then another one after that. So just within about 8 miles, there's 4 different language groups. And then on the other side of Gooka, there's a few more. So I think in our valley, about 20 square miles or so, I think there's 8 different, completely different languages. They all speak the trade language, talk Pidgin, but their actual heart language, 8 different languages. Pretty crazy. On here to the left, we actually have a coffee factory. I think they do roasting and everything there. Not 100% sure. Used to be a chicken farm when I was a kid that stunk really nasty, and no, you don't actually smell the coffee very often. I mean, every great once in a while, but. All right, looks like we're gonna get some sprinkles, afternoon sprinkles. Quite common. One of the things you have to really look out for while you're driving, actually let me just point out, here's another gas station that they're building. It's been in the construction stage now for about 2 or 3 years. I don't know if they ran out of money or something else happened, but yet again, another gas station. Great idea, but I don't know. But looking out for one, kids on the highway, extremely important to do. Also, you have like pigs every once in a while, not so often, but pigs, dogs, different things like that. We'll just go ahead and pass this guy here. But yeah, just tons of people sitting out. PNG is a very communal country, unlike the United States and maybe other Western countries. They love talking, they love hanging out together. So you just see people sitting in groups all the time, just talking. They redid this road about 2 years ago. The type of road it is just like a chip seal, something that you might find on some back road in Missouri that not many people use. Yeah, this is the main highway. So because it's not very deep, I mean, it's just gravel underneath with about 1.5 inches worth of some tar and some smaller pebbles and things like that on top. That's why it's called chip seal, because it's just a seal on top of a dirt road. They've been working on this bridge now for 1.5 years since I've been back. They built this bypass for now. They're coming along with it, but they are also they're rebuilding all the single lane bridges in Papua New Guinea, from what I've been told. So from here all the way down to the coast, they're rebuilding and making wider, so they've got a lot of projects going on at once. This company right up here, this just came in just maybe a month or so ago. It is a crushing company. They get all the rock from the river. There's a river right over here, I don't know, 1/8 of a mile down. Get all the rock out of there, bring it up here and crush it. They've got another company, maybe another 2 or 3 miles down the road that does the same thing. Might be the same company, I don't know. Right up here off to the left, it's called Uptrack. This is actually adjacent to the property that we live on here. A lot of the high schools will take their motorcycles up there and have a great time. It gives them a little bit of freedom that they might be able to experience back in the States or something. Typically, these days, I know in years past, high schoolers and stuff like that had a lot more freedoms getting out into the community and riding their motorcycles into town and stuff. But over the years, there's just been so many accidents and incidences with different people and things like that's kind of been put to a kibosh. Anyway, we are here. Hope you guys enjoyed that little drive home, so you guys can get an idea of what it looks like driving here in Papua New Guinea on, I'd say, fairly normal day. Check out some other videos if you'd like to see more PNG culture and something other than flying on this channel. This is my second channel, so go check out my main channel if you're into flying and you want to see some bush flying here in Papua New Guinea. See you guys next time.